In the world of professional golf, there exists an elite club. A club filled with legends, household names, and rising stars. A club where membership is earned yearly with time, sweat, and dedication. This week, 50 players will gain entry into this exclusive fellowship. The top 25 from the regular season have already secured their spots, and another 25 spots are up for grabs here this week. Some dreams will be realized. Others will have to wait another day. Who will be next to join the likes of Jason Duffner, Grant Snedeker, and Keegan Bradley as the next great Web.com Tour graduate? EA Sports and the Web.com Tour proudly present opening round coverage of the Web.com Tour Championship. This is the fourth and final stop of the Web.com Tour Finals. Pressure-packed environment. 50 PGA Tour cards are up for grabs. Frank, this is a great day for golf, and the conditions here at Ponte Vedra Beach, Florida, look to be really good.
Rich, scoring conditions are absolutely optimal today. Expect to see a lot of low numbers.
It's 180 yards now to the flagstick. Our featured golfer has made it to the 13th hole. Let's pick up the action right there. Frank, what's the mindset this late in the first round when you haven't played your best?
Well, somehow you've got to get into the clubhouse, minimize the damage. And you've also got to figure out what's gone wrong. Little trip to the range, fix it up. Tomorrow will be a better day.
Another good swing, and it looks like, Frank, another really good shot. He's knocked it on the green, but not in a great position. This is a difficult chance coming up here. Long birdie try. Frank, I'm not saying he should pull out driver here, but this is a long putt.
Greens are fast, though. You never know. Good line, good pace. Might have a chance.
So a long putt there and just didn't read it quite right. Been pretty good all day from this distance, just trying to take care of business. Frank, that's a par, and onward we go. Frank, Tiger certainly had his adventures here at 14.
Well, we'll never forget that. Spun it left. In the end, was very, very lucky to get away with 6. Had it been 7, Garcia might have just caught him at the post. But he will, and we will, never forget 14.
This, the second shot here at the par 4.
There's a bunker over there.
I think he's headed for it. Into the tall cabbage. That ball is swallowed up. Ball sitting down here in the rough. He's digging in. you down. Look out.
It's over. The green.
Frank, it hit the green, but just didn't have enough backspin.
You wonder what he's thinking on that.
Nice approach shot. He'll be happy with that. That's a bogey putt, dropping down the leaderboard a bit, now at 2 over par. Just before we get to what they call the gauntlet, 16, 17, and 18, 15 requires all of your attention, doesn't it, Frank?
Personally, I think this is the prettiest hole on the golf course, Rich. I've actually often gone back there and taken pictures. Just a gentle dogleg to the right. You come out of the chute, seems to be a generous fairway. You just get a little view of the bunker down the right side, but virtually there's no lip there, so that's not a concern. The green, all sorts of weird and wonderful waves on it, well protected by a big bunker on the left, and there's 2 little pot bunkers out on the right that, well, if your first time around, you might notice.
Always makes the hole easier, playing it from the fairway. Frank, really good chance from this position to make a birdie.
Yeah, really the only thing he's looking at right now is the flag. This is a green light special.
Frank, the players out here today really have the opportunity of a lifetime, a chance to earn a PGA Tour card at the end of this tournament.
And that life-changing opportunity is certainly going to be on the line. All of these great golfers have put in the time to get where they are right now, and they're just one step away. That's right, one step away, maybe this week, of earning a tour card.
That one is wildly offline right there. What was he thinking there?
I have no earthly idea.
Getting set for this next shot from the rough, what does the player need to be careful of here, Frank?
Well, this is where we're going to see exactly how good they are because, you know, that's not exactly the best lie, but it's sort of doable if you know what you're doing.
Just a bit offline.
Yeah, the hard work's coming up now, though. That's a long way away.
Pretty long putt right here. You'd be happy to get it to within 2-3 feet. Yeah, that's a good putt right there. From that distance, he'll settle. Standing over this putt, concentrating on the read. That hole certainly got the best of him. Triple bogey. Frank, I think one of the things that fans love about this gauntlet, 16, 17, and 18, each hole has that sort of hold-your-breath moment. Certainly 17, we know when that ball's in the air, you're holding your breath. Is it wet or dry? 16, same on that second shot. You're holding your breath wondering, where is it? Right in the water or left with a chance for 3?
That's why you don't want to get too sloppy on that tee shot. A lot of people look at 16 because there's a wide fairway and they think just get it down there. But the extra 10 or 15 yards, there's a little ridge down that left side. If you catch that, the ball will kick good 20 yards further forward. 20 yards is 2 clubs. I'd much rather go into 17 with a 4-iron than a 2-iron.
Frank, this is a position where a player is absolutely licking his chops here. Good chance to make a birdie.
Yeah, this is when this game just looks like fun. Bunkers don't seem to be in play. The only thing you're really looking at right now is just the flag.
Good swing, good shot yet again. That is how it's done, right there. What an approach shot. Not a gimme, but well within his range.
How did that not go in?
Oh, man.
I just pushed it.
Boy, that hurts. Just a couple of feet. This would be a good time to reverse the slide. 5 over par on the day. It may well be the most famous single hole in the entire sport of golf. The 17th, the Island Green at the TPC Sawgrass. Everyone wants to play it at least once before their days are done. And if you do play it, you know you're going to go home, and your buddies are going to ask you, what'd you make at 17? You better have a good answer. Appears to be a smart shot, Frank.
Yeah, no problem here. That's going to fly all the way.
Not terrible, but not his best.
Yeah, outside chance, really, for birdie, but really, it was a rather poor approach shot.
That's a head scratcher. No other way to put it. That close to the green and misses it badly to the right. That's how the best in the world play it, Frank.
Well, I'd say a little lucky that it went in, but it was always going to be close.
People always talk about 17 being visually intimidating. Frank, what about 18?
If there's a little bit of wind off the right, the tee shot is so much easier. But if that wind is coming off the water, not only do you see the water and the wooden bulkheads, you see all the rough and the trees on the right. And, of course, then you start bringing 5, 6, 7, even 8 into play. That's what makes this tee shot so hard.
A great way to start a hole, nicely placed in the fairway. Well, Frank, you want to finish it off in style. The approach here to the final hole.
You'd take anything that lands in the middle of this green. Mind you, Hal Sutton, be the right club. Hard to forget that. Even Adam Scott, remember his first big championship win all those years ago. 3-iron from the middle of the fairway, wet. Still managed to make 5, which was enough to win. But such a daunting second shot.
Frank couldn't ask for anything more.
Just the lie there, too. It is sitting up like it's teed up.
Third shot, looking for a good one. Well, that's how you play the game, right there. And getting ready for the putt. Workmanlike hole, he walks away with a par. Well, that'll do it for day number 1, and a tough start for some of those who were hoping for better things.
Yeah, slow start, surprisingly, really, and hard to put your finger on why, because we saw a lot of good golf, but now, outside looking in, we'll need to play well tomorrow.
EA Sports and the Web.com Tour proudly present second round coverage of the Web.com Tour Championship. Moving into the second round of the Web.com Tour Championship, the fourth and final stop of the Web.com Tour Finals, and Frank, you can feel the pressure building.
You certainly can, Rich, and I expect that we're going to see more of what we saw yesterday, which is some fearless golf, and these guys are playing for a PGA Tour card, and they're not backing down.
Frank, you've been there. What's the best way to approach this next shot at the 7th hole?
There's a lot of mounding on this 7th green, to the right and the left. You can use those mounds to kick the ball to the flag.
Frank, this one's offline.
There's rough and thick stuff over there.
Pretty good result right there, considering...
It looked rough all the way,
Exactly.
Rich. It really did. Another good swing, another good approach shot.
Getting set now over the putt. Been a little too much of that, Frank, just sort of ho-hum pars. Frank, 17 here at TPC Sawgrass gets all the attention when you look at the par 3s, justifiably so. But number 8 is a daunting challenge in its own right.
It is, longest of the 4 par 3s, plus it's just littered with bunkers around the side, the back, and the front.
Just a beautiful approach shot. Par yesterday, now for birdie. We haven't seen a whole lot of that, Frank, but that has to feel good. Frank, what do you make of the final hole here on the front side, the 583-yard par 5 ninth?
Just depends on how much you want to risk here. If you hit a good drive down the right side, it's certainly gettable for 2, but you can make an absolute mess here at 9.
And now the second shot here at this par 5.
That's an absolute beauty.
Frank, narrow entryway to this green here at the 9th. Short shot, but kind of difficult.
Yeah, don't want to get too aggressive here. You missed the green on the left, that bunker there, very difficult to get it up and down. And of course there's the 2 little pop bunkers on the right side.
Well, he'd like to have that one back in the bunker.
Still a chance to get it up and down.
Playing a par 5, Frank, what happened on that third shot?
Yeah, it's a poor decision. But, well, hopefully he can eradicate that from the memory banks and really knuckle down on this. Do not want to drop a shot or make 6 here. It's a big green. He's managed to get it smack bang in the middle of it.
Makeable putt right here. He is currently sitting at 1 under par. Never a bad score on the card. That's par. Excellent front side. Trying to keep it going here on the second 9.
He's just playing beautifully, hitting so many good shots, giving himself so many opportunities. Can he keep it going?
Looks to be a good setup going into the green here at the 10th. All right, Frank, now the approach here at number 10. What's the right way to play it?
Just avoid that bunker on the right and don't go too long and left. Over the back left is not an easy up and down.
Well, he'll be disappointed with that, no doubt.
His swing didn't quite look right on that one.
Frank, you like his chances to walk away with a par here?
Well, with a good shot, Rich, yeah, that's certainly on the cards in that. And you think you just write a par down at the end of the hole. Don't tell anyone about it. It certainly won't affect the scorecard at the end of the day. So that's the goal right here.
So he didn't hit the green in regulation, but he still has a reasonably good chance to save his par, about 10 feet away. Shouldn't be a problem here, but not a formality either. No, that's not the way you want to start the back nine. Missed putt, bogey, and a drop shot. Just needs to keep it steady here over the putt. Whew, this is tough to watch.
I've already got my eyes covered.
All right, hole number 11 here at the TPC Sawgrass, 558-yard, par 5, no shortage of options, no shortage of hazards, Frank.
If there's one hole at TPC Sawgrass where you can literally leap out of your shoes, this is it.
Looks like he's going to have a go at it here at the par 5, his second shot. Frank, for our viewers just tuning in, remind them what is at stake here in this Web.com Tour Championship final.
50 players will actually go forward in 2015 and have their PGA Tour card. And the way it's divvied up is you take the top 25 on the money list from the regular Web.com season. And then added to that, the remaining 25 cards will come from this Web.com Finals series. That's the 50 guys, and they'll all be ranked in position of where they finish.
Headed for the bunker? Frank in a bit of trouble here at the par 5, missing the green on that third shot.
Yeah, just battling to make par. And this is going to be difficult. Rich, this is the player that I'm really curious to see how they do long term. Tons of power. There's talent. You can see that. Anybody can pick that up. And the touch, too, and the skill required. It's not just about long hitting. This player seems to have all the goods. And I know we talk about it on a regular basis, but I think this particular talent is special.
Has a great resume, too. We've known about this player since they were in the junior ranks, #1 ranked junior player in the world, went on to have a phenomenal collegiate career, played well on the amateur level. So at every step, Frank has been successful, has been a winner.
Safely on the dance floor. Even par currently.
How did that stay out, Frank?
Did everything but go in.
Clean this up with a tap. That's messy. That's a double bogey.
A very quick exit, miscut. Not the only one there, but surprising.
The weekend now to regroup. Just didn't hit many good shots. Presented by EA Sports in association with the PGA Tour. Today it's live opening round coverage of the Career Builder Challenge. Back over now to the fourth. As we catch up with today's featured golfer, Frank, what's the key to generating some momentum?
Just hitting good shots. I know it sort of sounds like the old cliche, but plenty of opportunities. A few 10, 15-foot putts start going down. This round will change dramatically.
Frank, that ball's sitting up like it's on plush carpeting.
Rich, if you and I had lies like that every time, we'd still be playing this game for a living.
These are the kind of putts that keep a round going about 10 feet away for par. Standing over this putt, concentrating on the read. Frank, that looked good to me. Oh, you can see the frustration. Almost kicked his putter head right there with a drop shot here at the 4th. So that's a bogey, and now to 1 over par for the tournament. Frank, what'd you say at the top? Die on the left, die on the right. Is this what you were talking about?
Exactly, yeah. The 5th hole here, it's called double trouble. So yeah, there's chances for grief on both sides of this fairway. But, if you're long enough, if you can just sneak it past 335, that's where the water runs out. This is reachable.
So if you do sneak it out there, and that would be the longer hitters, you might have what into this green?
Well, you can get home hybrid, maybe even something shorter. But remember, it's called double trouble. Avoid that. Maybe double eagle.
Well, look out. This could be wet, Frank.
It's heading towards the hazard.
Just averted danger right there. So close.
Why does he have all the luck?
Now the 3rd shot here at the par 5, 5th.
Yeah, great opportunity, scoring club in hand. Just check the yardage, make sure there's no little fickle breezes around. Pitch the ball on the number. Got a birdie putt coming up.
Frank, you hate to miss the green on a par 5 with your 3rd shot.
Yeah, well, they say par 5s are the easiest holes to birdie, but the hardest holes to make 4. Making a 6, though, well, that certainly sets yourself backwards. So tough up and down.
Frank, for a long time, the stadium course at PGA West was thought to be too difficult for the professionals. How'd that happen?
It wasn't really unusual. A lot of Pete Dye courses, when they first came out, with the wooden bulkheads, so visually intimidating. It was such a departure from traditional golf design that players, they weren't very receptive to it. They thought it was too punishing, and yet now we look some 20, 30 years later, Pete Dye's going to go down with the Mackenzies, the Donald Rosses, the C.B. McDonalds as one of the most innovative and one of the great architects that actually changed the direction that the game's gone.
Back in the late 1980s, the Tour Pros actually refused to go back to the stadium course. They signed a petition to get it removed as one of the host courses, a ban that effectively ran until 2015. But now the Career Builder Challenge will return to the rotation in 2016. Second shot, good look at the green. the green has about 10 feet left there to save par. Been pretty good all day from this distance, just trying to take care of business. Still even par for the day.
Frank, this is like a big water park here at PGA West. We saw it at the 6th, and here again at the 7th, a challenging par 4, 346 yards.
I've never, ever seen anyone try and drive this green. So it's just a layup. You see the bunker down there in the distance. That really is the stop sign. So something that's short of that, but really what I prefer is try and lay up on a nice number. Something that you've got a full shot in, whether that be a 9-iron or an 8-iron or a wedge. You'd like to have a full club in here.
Frank, what's this second shot look like here at the 7th?
A good distance in here, and you can just simply look at the flag. This is a hole that should be taken advantage of.
He's knocked it on the green, but not in a great position. This is a difficult chance coming up here. Long birdie try.
Might want to check the GPS on a putt this long.
Just had a bit of a spasm right there. I don't know how else to explain it. You're on the green, and now you're on the fringe? Nudge this one home, finish it up. Just a shade over par, +1.
.555-yard par 5 8th hole. Frank, is this a 2-shotter or a 3-shotter?
Good question, Rich. It starts to shrink down by the walkway, which is around that 330-yard mark. That's the decision has to be made. Personally, I think you try it at first, because even if you do find a fairway bunker, then it is certainly a layup. If you've got the distance, it's well worth the risk.
Excellent drive, Frank, right where you want to be. Playing his second shot here at the par 5.
Frank couldn't ask for anything more.
Just the lie there, too. It is sitting up like it's teed up.
Now the approach shot here on this par 5 8th.
Seems to like it. Looks like it's headed for the green.
Well, that's how you do it. Hit it close, take the pressure off that putt. That one should be no problem.
and getting ready for the putt. Once considered the best player at the college level, our featured golfer makes birdie, sitting comfortably inside the cut line. Don't forget, second round coverage coming your way tomorrow here on EA Sports. For our entire crew, I'm Rich Lerner saying so long for now. This is EA Sports PGA Tour coverage coming up next. Frank, this looks like a fun hole. The first par 5 of the day, 535-yard fifth.
Yeah, as long as you've got something that doesn't go left off the tee shot and doesn't go right off the second shot, you'll be fine.
Good tee shot, right in the short grass. Okay, the second shot now at this par 5. Tasty looking right there, Frank. Just a perfect spot in the fairway.
That is prime real estate. How do you get a lie like that? Seriously, you could hit any club from there.
Still with a good chance to make birdie here, the conventional way. On in 3, make the 1 putt. What's this third shot look like, Frank?
There's just a little bit of a faint ridge that comes through the middle of the screen. Once again, with a wedge in hand, you're trying to land the ball the right distance. People obviously, they know where the flag is, but it's more about distance control with the second shot. That's going to take the water out of play.
This hole really sets up well for the player. Birdie yesterday, and a chance for another one today. Frank, this would be a nice way to jumpstart the round.
Yeah, his momentum can quickly go in the right direction if he makes this.
With that birdie, into the top 25 on the leaderboard. Well, Frank, how about this 255-yard par 3 sixth?
Yeah, there's a bit of a bailout area, sort of short and left, but the only thing really going in the player's favour, it is a big green, 51 yards in depth. So if you want to sort of do the maths in reverse, 255, take away 50, 205 front, it doesn't sound as daunting.
Slight waggle, relaxed arms, ready to go. Frank, golf may be the best sport to follow from this standpoint. You can get closer to the great athlete in golf than you can in any other sport. You could stand 5 feet from Tiger Woods at a tee box as he's getting ready to drive. I mean, that's really unusual in sports.
Yeah, it's a different type of spectator sport, especially if you follow your favourite player all the way around the golf course. Because it's not like waiting for your favourite hitter in a baseball game. You know, you've got to wait several innings. You can literally see him hit every single shot, drive through to putt.
Been a little too much of that, Frank, just sort of ho-hum pars. Frank, if you want to play this game at the highest level, and no doubt our players do, you have to sort of be tactical. When you break down shots or break down a hole, how would you break down this hole in a very smart way?
Yeah, I know what you're getting at there. A lot of people would think 350 yards, you could bash a driver down there, you'd finish up in trouble. Well, the way to be aggressive on a strategic hole is to just put the first one in play in a position where you can attack with the second. And there's no shame in that. You can still walk off here more days than often than not with a 3.
And to generate some momentum here at the 7th hole, this for birdie. See if he can go one better than yesterday when he made par. This putt for birdie.
Pretty good stroke right there, just to hit it through the break.
Well, it's that sort of distance. If it goes in, it's a bonus.
Did the job right there. Well, Frank, here at the par 5-8, 559 yards. Looks as though the player's getting a break from the water, but there is some trouble out there.
Yeah, there certainly is bunkering both on the left and the right. Once again, though, par 5s are always an opportunity for the longer hitter. Even if you stray a little off line, then it just becomes a 3-shotter like it is for everybody else.
Good tee shot, good lie, and now a good chance to take advantage here on this hole.
Now the second shot to the par 5.
He makes a great pass at the golf ball. It's powerful, but it's rhythmic at the same time.
Frank, really good chance from this position to make a birdie.
Yeah, really the only thing he's looking at right now is the flag. This is a green light special.
Ooh, nice play right there. That's in pretty close. Birdie putt coming up. Had a bogey on this hole yesterday. Made a good run at birdie. He'll have to focus now. Try to walk away with the par. Bogey here yesterday. Chance to better that today. Good par.
Frank, the 9th hole at 452 yards with that water down the right is really a test of a player's driving ability, isn't it?
It is, and his ability to sort of take the shot on. Ideally, just something with a little bit of a fade, unless you can carry the ball 300 yards, then you can get it just past that bunker. But when you look at this hole, notice how that fairway just starts to open up. So Pete Dye will reward an aggressive tee shot, but also he'll punish it if it's wayward.
Player really needs to be dialed in here. This approach shot is not easy by any stretch here at the 9th. This one doesn't look good.
There's water over there.
Well, he'll have to get up and down from the bunker to save his par. Great professionals, Frank, they don't fear the greenside bunker shot, do they?
No, because you can be as aggressive or as conservative as you want. You actually have far more options. And you don't have to hit the ball first.
Frank, where is that thing?
Well, thank God for small mercies.
So 2 rounds in the books. Frank, that was fun.
It certainly was. It bodes well for the weekend. Saw a lot of good players that seem to actually have a good fit for this golf course. That bodes well for the next 36 holes.
This is EA Sports PGA Tour coverage coming your way. Well, we've arrived at our third par 5 of the day here at PGA West. It is the 11th. It is nicknamed, appropriately, Eternity. 617 yards. That's a good start to the hole, right down the middle. Second shot coming up here at the par 5. Into the thick stuff, that's a difficult lie. Just trying to make clean contact from the rough. Tug that one a little bit offline to the left, and he'll pay a bit of a price because that rough is fairly thick.
Rich, after you've already made one mistake in the rough, there's a chance he's going to make another.
Just trying to get it back out into the fairway and not make a big number. Well, he'll be disappointed with that, no doubt.
Yeah, swing didn't quite look right on that one.
Shot now from the rough. Frank, what's he facing?
Well, the lie first and foremost. If it's sitting down, then obviously you're not going to get a very good contact. Nothing wrong with coming up a little bit short of the green. Problem is turning one mistake into another.
Putting all of his talents on display here from the rough, and he knocks it really close. Beautiful shot. Well, too bad he gives one back. Frank, Pete Dye always gets a player thinking what might be going through a player's mind right here.
You're going to play it as a layup. That's a given. It's just what distance you want. And for every distance you're going to hit it off the tee, Pete Dye gives you a different challenge. If you lay it all the way back, obviously you've got the widest fairway. Then you've got the longer second shot. Get a little closer, it starts to shrink up, shrink up, shrink up. So how much do you want to bite off?
Frank, that ball's sitting up like it's on plush carpeting.
Rich, if you and I had lies like that every time, we'd still be playing this game for a living.
Good-looking shot right here. Early part of this second nine, a good approach shot. Now, pretty good chance for birdie. Birdie putt coming up. Had a par on this hole yesterday. Frank, there's an old basketball announcer who used to say when a ball went in and out of the cylinder, just the way that one did, he would say, ringtail howitzer. And that one just didn't go in. Frank, what do you make of this par 3 13th at 214 yards?
It's another example of Pete Dye using those sort of very harsh wooden bulkheads that give you that such a definitive line around the edge of the green. Plus, it's his ability to turn a straight hole into a very angular or crooked-looking hole.
Didn't check, Frank.
Yeah, just not enough spin on that, really. I mean, that almost like took that first bounce and just ricocheted forward.
Very nicely done, right on the dance floor. Getting set now over the putt. Drops for a par. Now another short par 4. It's only 389 yards. But Frank, where could a player go off course, so to speak, at this 14th?
Well, this is a hole where you have to play your own game. If you're a longer hitter, I think you can challenge that bunker and knock it over there. And if you're shorter player, you should be only looking at that left side. You're always going to feel like you've left something out there on a hole like this. You always think you could have done the other option. But this is where you've got to stick to what you think is your game plan. What a great shot.
Now the approach shot here at 14.
He's knocked it on the green, but not in a great position. This is a difficult chance coming up here. Long birdie try. Par yesterday. Now for birdie. Always two components to the long lag putt, the speed, number one, and then the read. And missed out on that second part. Frank, that's a par, and onward we go. Now to the par 4 15th hole, 468 yards. Frank, what do you like about number 15?
The variation of the bunkering here, Rich, I think is excellent. The bunker that meanders its way down the right side tends to go to the right, and then you start to see those two bunkers down the left side. You've really got to try and take that second one on the left out of play. That requires something in excess of 280 yards. From there on in, you've got a chance. Sweet. Straight down the middle.
The approach here at 15. Players bracing against these strong, gusty winds. Really a challenge out there.
Whoop, this is taken off on a weird line.
And it's going to be in the rough, it looks like. That one ends up in the rough.
Oh, that went sideways.
He'll need to be strong with this.
Not enough on that one.
Yeah, it just seemed to baby it.
Frank, this is where the mental game really comes into play. You've hit a second consecutive shot into the rough.
This could compound very, very quickly. So now's a chance to just take a little breath, take a breather, and try to make sure this shot certainly gets out.
He'll be pretty happy with that one. About 20 feet away, in a good spot. Standing over this putt, concentrating on the read. Very well done. Almost made it.
Yeah, there'll be no stress for the next one.
So a tester from 4 feet.
Frank, how do you explain what we saw here?
It's a mess. It's probably the easiest way to put it. This is a case of anything that could go wrong. Not just probably, it did.
This is EA Sports coverage of the PGA Tour. Today it's live final round coverage of the Career Builder Challenge. Frank, not overly long, but still a pretty good spot and in the fairway.
Yeah, that's in that 280 mark.
Frank, really good chance from this position to make a birdie.
Yeah, really the only thing he's looking at right now is the flag. This is a green light special. This is not heading in the right direction.
It looks like it's going to be in the rough. Well, that is an exceptional shot on the green and in position for a birdie.
Yeah, it's a formality now.
Now this for birdie came away with par in the previous round. Frank, the good players continue to play good golf, even if they're not winning or in the top 5.
Yeah, that position's starting to look a little brighter than what it was at the beginning of the day. Now in the top 25.
And from the fairway for his second shot here. Tasty looking right there, Frank. Just a perfect spot in the fairway.
That is prime real estate. How do you get a lie like that? Seriously, you could hit any club from there.
Okay, good shot on the dance floor. And getting ready for the putt. And that's in for a par. Frank, this could be an exciting and pivotal point in the round, the par 5 16th.
especially if the player decides to have a go here. If you're going to take it on a direct line, then you've got to carry all of that bunker complex. Then the other thing to realise, what's the worst thing that can happen? Just in the bunker, right? It's worth a go. Either that, hit it down the right side. There's no way you're going to reach this par 5 and 2.
Excellent drive, Frank. Right where you want to be. Okay, the second shot now at this par 5.
Gets a good kick. It's only in the first cut.
Not
too bad.
Frank, I like the way he sort of starts his swing a little bit on the outside and then drops it right on plane. This one looks like it's headed right for the middle of the dance floor, Frank.
Rather nice shot, I would say. I mean, there's skill, and that was sublime.
Just good hands, coming out of the rough, able to manage the distance, and now in great position. And with that birdie, moving into the top 20 on the leaderboard. Well, there it is. They call it Alcatraz. Just sitting out there on the water, 168 yards away, Frank.
Well, speaking of water, that water looks so peaceful, doesn't it? It'd be a shame to spoil it with a splash. There's a bunker over there.
I think he's headed for it. Well, he'll be disappointed with that, no doubt.
Yeah, swing didn't quite look right on that one.
Second shot coming out of the rough here. So he didn't hit the green in regulation, but he still has a reasonably good chance to save his par, about 10 feet away. That is a solid par putt. One great hole after another here at PGA West. The finishing hole, no exception. Frank, what can we expect here?
Great finishing hole. It's amazing. If you took the 3 bunkers we're first going to see down the right side, this would almost be a nothing hole. But because they're perfectly situated here, they really shrink up that driving area down the left side. And this is just a reward for a great swing, a great strike, a great shot.
A great way to start a hole, nicely placed in the fairway. Frank, this is a position where a player is absolutely licking his chops here. Good chance to make a birdie.
Yeah, this is when this game just looks like fun. Bunkers don't seem to be in play. The only thing you're really looking at right now is just the flag.
Frank, this one's headed way right.
And rough trees, all sorts of problems on that right side.
So the second of the par 4 goes begging, and now I'll have to rely on the short game.
Yeah, but a short game, as we all know, can redeem a lot of mistakes. Let's see if he does it here.
Solid play, heart of the green. Locked in on the read and the speed. right in the heart. So another tournament in the books, Frank, and what'd you make of this one?
Quality venue once again, Rich. The standard of courses we're seeing is excellent, and consequently it's enabling the players to really play some great golf. So I think golf's the winner today.
EA Sports, in association with the PGA Tour, proudly presents the season-long race for the FedEx Cup. Today, it's live opening round coverage of the BioWare Classic.
It is just an ideal day for golf. Rich Lerner alongside Frank Nobilo for EA Sports. We're getting set for all the action this afternoon at Wetlands Golf and Country Club in Florida. And this is certainly a challenge, Frank.
It is. We really should rename it Drylands because that's the way you want to play this golf course. If you're not dry, then you are going to be wet. That swampland is just all the way around this golf course. In between it, though, is fairway. So fairway, the goal all day today.
And as always, with the state of Florida, you have to factor in the changing winds.
Frank couldn't ask for anything more.
Just the lie there, too. It is sitting up like it's teed up.
Frank, you like his chances to walk away with a par here?
Well, with a good shot, Rich, yeah, that's certainly on the cards in that. And you think you just write a par down at the end of the hole. Don't tell anyone about it. It certainly won't affect the scorecard at the end of the day. So that's the goal right here.
So that one settles about 18 feet away from the cup. Pretty good shot. Just needs to keep it steady here over the putt.
Frank, you can see by the reaction, it has been that kind of week. Just a few too many pars. Here we are now at the 11th.
Has not been a stellar performance to this point, but Frank, not too bad.
Now, when you consider 4-round events, Rich, you're going to have a period where there's a little lull. As long as you can minimize the damage over the course of 4 days, it turns out all right.
Frank, right where you want to be.
Wouldn't be better if it was on a tee.
This will require a good one. This is a 190-yard second shot. There are a number of really good and important grow the game initiatives out there. One of those is the First Tee program, and that allows youngsters who otherwise might not have an opportunity, the chance to put a golf club in their hands, allows them the chance to pick up this game and learn some of the core values that come along with it. It's about much more than making a score. It's about integrity. It is about responsibility, values like that. And this game is so good in instilling those kind of characteristics in young people. Frank, he might like this one. He might like... Oh, he's going to love it, Frank. This one looks good. Might like it. Oh, they're going to love it. What a putt. Stepping up to the tee at the first par 5 on this back nine. It's the 12th, and it is 576 yards.
Yeah, this hole bends to the right, opposite direction to what 11 does. A good tee shot, and you can actually think about reaching this par 5 and 2, but anything around the front or front left, still going to leave a relatively simple pitch shot. So when you stand on that tee, think of birdie at least here.
Frank, it's a nice walk to make down the fairway when you can see your golf ball right there in the middle.
Rich, there's an old saying, fairway first. There's another example. Hit it in the fairway, and the game becomes very straightforward.
Just a beautiful tee shot. Now his third, staring right at the green. That's well played, places it about 10 feet out for birdie. So coming off the birdie on the previous hole, a chance now for yet another one.
And momentum all in his favor.
Frank, how much does that birdie help the cause?
Well, it doesn't look like much right now, Rich, just sneaking inside the top 20. But at the end of the day, that might be the one that turned the tide.
Here we go at the par 4 13th, 452 yards. What's the best angle of attack?
The straight line really is the best way here, like a lot of holes on the golf course. But straight, as we know, is not often easy. Fairway does start to widen up the further out there you get it. So for the longer hitters, this hole actually plays relatively easy. For the shorter hitters in that narrow area, that'll leave you a lengthy second shot where you just might have to bisect the two front greenside bunkers.
We are dead on 200 yards away. Frank, this is just a pleasure to watch. A player hitting on all cylinders at the top of his game.
Notice it's just flowing too. There's not a lot of deep analysis going through his mind. Just one step in front of the other. If your swing's there, you don't have to find it. If your putting stroke's there, you don't have to find it. Just let it happen.
So missed the fairway, and now he's back where he needs to be.
Yeah, minimize the problems.
Settles in, looking to knock it in tight. Nice approach shot. He'll be happy with that. Holding steady now at 2 under par. Second round coverage coming your way tomorrow. For our entire crew, I'm Rich Lerner alongside Frank Nobilo. So long for now. EA Sports, in association with the PGA Tour, proudly presents the season-long race for the FedEx Cup. Today, it's live second-round coverage of the BioWare Classic. Getting set for all the action on what my idol Vin Scully would have said was a beautiful afternoon here in the Sunshine State. Rich Lerner alongside Frank Nobilo for EA Sports. Getting ready at Wetlands Golf and Country Club. An interesting layout, Frank. The players are ready to go. And what are you thinking about as you get set to tee off?
Well, you're thinking about you're going to play a long golf course, sort of mid-7,000 yard range. But this is a golf course that you actually do get to hit your driver more often than not. So it's a good driving golf course. Green's relatively flat as well, but be careful if you're a little weak of heart. Look left or right, you might see the odd gator or two.
Slight waggle, relaxed arms, ready to go. Frank, can one small tweak from an instructor lead to a big turnaround?
With the right player, yeah. You just want to hear the right message. It's like anyone in life. You just want to be pointed in the right direction.
Seems to like it. Headed for the fat part of the green. He's making the game look very simple right now. See it, hit it, and he's got it right on track. Settles in over the putt. I tell you, he's setting himself up for a good weekend. A former college #1 makes another birdie. Eighth hole here at the Wetlands, par 3, 203 yards. You like this hole, Frank?
I do, actually, but you have to have a little look at your yardage book because that front bunker will make this hole look a little shorter to the eye than actually what it plays. Green gets a little narrow as it gets deeper, but flat and, well, I wouldn't say easy. 3 here, not too bad.
Appears to be a smart shot, Frank.
Yeah, no problem here. That's going to fly all the way.
Frank, it hit the green, but just didn't have enough backspin.
Yeah, you wonder what he was thinking on that.
All right, so greenside bunker. What's he looking to do with this shot, Frank?
Well, really you have to look at the amount of green you got to play with. You don't have to try and fly the ball right by the flag. Allow it to run. Plus, if you can get it to run like a putt, you never know, it might just go in.
And Frank, that steady play continues.
Rock solid. Excellent approach shot.
A good 29-foot putt here. That was a good run right there. Almost went in.
At least he's seen the line as it went past the hole. So just replicate that on the way back.
Makeable putt right here, currently sitting at 1 under for the round. Frank, nothing really went the player's way this week.
Yeah, if this was motor racing, you'd say it's a case of having 4 flat tires.
The 9th hole, Frank, is a muscular par 5, 621 yards.
You see why length is a huge advantage of this golf course, just under 7,700 yards. This hole here, another example, good tee shot. Perhaps think of going for the par 5 and 2, but great collection of 3 bunkers that sort of annoy you with your layup there. Got to make sure you avoid all of those to leave yourself a nice little wedge shot in here if you can't reach it in 2.
Second shot coming up here at the par 5. He's set up for his 4th shot here, looking to get it on the green with this. Frank, where is that thing?
Well, thank God for small mercies.
So here we go on the back 9 at the Wetlands Golf and Country Club. Rich Lerner alongside Frank Novelo for EA Sports. And Frank, I'm pumped up for this second 9.
Oh, this is a hard hole, Rich, and anything long or left and you're guaranteed to be wet. That's for sure. 3 bunkers short and the fun zone. That's the green just beyond those. There's a bunker over there.
I think he's headed for it. Chance to get it close here. Frank, what's so compelling about rivalries in sports is that athletes need each other if they're going to go to great heights. Joe Frazier needed Muhammad Ali to solidify his legend. Jack Nicklaus probably needed Arnold Palmer to go to a place that he had not been. And I think that's true across the board as we look at rivalries in sports.
I think it defines careers, Rich. It's not until those players retire that they realised how important it was to have that foe. You know, so often we're living in the present like we are now with Tiger Woods and Rory Mcilroy. And it's not for years to come that we'll realise the sport wouldn't have been the same with one without the other. Rich, you got to tell me what happened. I covered my eyes on that one.
Another bogey. What else? Par 4-11. Frank, we're looking at 443 yards.
Yeah, the Wetlands Golf Course is a really good driving course. This is another example here, Rich, where the fairway's just wide enough to reward a good tee shot, and then those two bunkers don't really come into play. But Wetlands becomes very difficult when you just start to stray a little bit off the fairway. And then you start to see why those bunkers are put there.
That was just a beautiful drive. He hit it solid and right in the middle. Ready for his second shot, trying to knock it on the green. Playing this par 4, still not on the green after that second shot.
That's still not done. A good third shot, maybe get away here with par.
In there about 14 feet from the hole. Good shot. You don't want to let this one get away. This is about concentration and focus at this point.
Well, for such a strong man, weak putt.
Now I'll have to make this just to avoid making Michael Bublé. Blemish on the scorecard, a bogey. So that is the end of the second round. I can't wait to get back at it tomorrow, Frank.
We got a great leaderboard right now, Rich. So many players in contention. Golf course, there's enough blend of good and hard holes. Really, it's up for grabs.
EA Sports, in association with the PGA Tour, proudly presents the season-long race for the FedEx Cup. Today, it's live third-round coverage of the BioWare Classic. Moving on to the par 4 11th, just a little bit more than 440 yards. Need a good clean strike here from 180 yards away. Second shot. Frank, that ball's sitting up like it's on plush carpeting.
Rich, if you and I had lies like that every time, we'd still be playing this game for 11.
Oh, it looked like he caught a flyer right there, Frank.
Well, I don't know what he caught, but this is way too much. Well, just a little too much, Rich.
I don't know if it was wind at his back. He didn't calculate it, but he's going to be left with a difficult chip shot here. Something about this hole, it has not been kind. Bogey yesterday and staring at another one today. That's a bogey. So on this back nine, we started with a par 3, then a par 4, and now we get to a par 5. The 12th is 576 yards.
Yeah, nice blend of holes there that you've just referenced. 11 bends to the left. Consequently, 12 will bend in the other direction. Good drive required. From there, just setting up perhaps 7-iron, 6-iron into a green that's sort of fairly uniform in shape and should present a birdie with a good second shot.
Frank, this is a position where a player is absolutely licking his chops here. Good chance to make a birdie.
Yeah, this is when this game just looks like fun. Bunkers don't seem to be in play. The only thing you're really looking at right now is just the flag.
Early part of this back nine and a good approach shot. Now we'll have this for birdie. Little redemption chance here. Had bogey yesterday. So a good birdie, and the score looks good too. 2 under for the tournament. Now to the par 4 13th. Frank, what are the options here?
Well, another straight one required here, Rich. At 450, it's not overly long in today's standard, but still, that fairway widens up where the longer hitters will actually hit. And bunkers, once again, short of a green. So as long as you can fly that second shot to at least the front of the green, then they really do not come into play.
Good tee shot, good lie, and now a good chance to take advantage here on this hole. Let's see what they do from a good lie in the fairway, 180 yards to go. Not terrible, but not his best.
Yeah, outside chance, really, for birdie, but really, it was a rather poor approach shot.
Yeah, that's a good putt right there. From that distance, he'll settle. Trying to move on with a par in his pocket. Frank, you can see by the reaction, it has been that kind of week. Just a few too many pars. Good par 3 here at the 14th. It's a little bit more than 200 yards, Frank.
And there's a bunker short. So you've got to fly that coming in there. And if you do miss time one, that's when that body of water to the right really comes into play. Typical Floridian golf, but high-flying, soft-landing tee shot, once again, is the goal.
He makes a great pass at the golf ball. It's powerful, but it's rhythmic at the same time.
Second shot.
And it is in.
Amazing. Amazing.
The last par 5 on this golf course is the 15th. It's 590 yards. You think, Frank, this is the time to be aggressive?
Certainly is. Longer hitters must be licking their chops on this par 5. 300-plus yard tee shot, you can definitely get home. Shorter hitters, just set it up for a nice wedge shot. But if you are going to go at this par 5 and 2, well protected by those 3 bunkers.
Just a good solid tee shot right there, about 280 yards.
Now from a good position in the fairway, his second shot. Tasty looking right there, Frank. Just a perfect spot in the fairway.
That is prime real estate. How do you get a lie like that? Seriously, you could hit any club from there.
Third shot, looking for a good one.
No problems there. Really good approach shot. And now, good look at birdie. Birdie putt coming up. Had a par on this hole yesterday. Mark a birdie on the card. So through 3 rounds, just outside the top 10, what kind of a chance do you give a player who is sitting outside the first 10?
Yeah, it's slim. I certainly would not say none, though, Rich. You know, we've countless times over the years seen someone post an early one in and watch the leaders crumble at the end. Good opportunity tomorrow. Put a good round on the board and then just sit back and wait. And then remember, there's also the chance of a playoff.
EA Sports, in association with the PGA Tour, proudly presents the season-long race for the FedEx Cup. Today, it's live final round coverage of the BioWare Classic.
Playing his third here at the par 5.
Mishit, wrong club. What happened there, Frank?
All of the above, maybe. It's a little bit of a head scratcher. It wasn't that hard a shot.
Getting set now over the putt. That's how you maintain momentum. Make those putts for par. 16th hole at the Wetlands is a par 4, 455 yards.
Once again, another reward for a straight tee shot, but this green heavily guarded by sand. So, good tee shot. Well, this one, you're going to have to hit one of the better iron shots required at Wetlands.
That's a good start to the hole, right down the middle. Frank, really good chance from this position to make a birdie.
Yeah, really the only thing he's looking at right now is the flag. This is a green light special.
So the second of the par 4 goes begging, and now I'll have to rely on the short game.
Yeah, but a short game, as we all know, can redeem a lot of mistakes. Let's see if he does it here.
That's a head scratcher. No other way to put it. That close to the green and misses it badly to the right. Now his 4th shot. That shot does finish up on the green, but it sets up for a very difficult putt. Just want to nestle this one down to within a couple of feet.
We often say, Rich, you should always try and make it. I've got to disagree with that. Lag putting, it's just about taking the strain off the next one. There's always other holes to be played.
From that distance, you settle for 2 putts. Frank, you know full well, this can be a humbling game.
And an embarrassing game.
Here we go at the 17th. It's a par 3, and it takes one good strike. That's what you like about par 3s of this length, Frank. 238 yards. Can't fake it here.
You certainly can't, and that green just shapes a little bit to the player's right. So the best shot to hit in here would be a little draw. And that is also the avenue provided by those 2 bunkers. One short left and the other one back right.
You wouldn't call that a miss-hit, but it wasn't his best. That one just sort of drifted right and a long ways from the flagstick. Just needs to keep it steady here over the putt. That was a good-looking putt, just not falling right now.
Sadly, he's going to be disappointed.
Did the job right there. Final hole here at the Wetlands Golf and Country Club. It's par 4. It's not a long one, 377 yards. There must be some trouble out there somewhere.
Well, not really if you keep your wits about you. Just position the tee shot. You don't have to hit driver down here. Even a 3-wood's only going to leave a short iron. If you 3-wood, 250, 260 yards, do the maths, it's only 120 yards left. With that, with a scoring club, try and get that inside 10, 15 feet, finish with a birdie.
But if you stray, then what?
Oh no, we don't think of straying on this hole. This is the last hole. Got to finish well.
But I'm thinking about gators. Are there gators out there?
Well, there's gator on the menu.
Well, that is an exceptional shot on the green and in position for a birdie.
Yeah, that's a formality now.
Made par yesterday. This one for birdie. Well, at last, a birdie. Frank, it was a great setting with great crowds. We saw plenty of very good golf. Your thoughts?
Well, I think the course really extracted some of the golf that we saw. It forced these players to play just some great golf. And it wasn't just like a pitch and a putt golf course. So I think seeing the guys tested, seeing the players tested at this level, it was a treat.